Yo, 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 yo. Let's get to the live chat before the crowd comes in. Welcome to Monday Night Raw in the Earlverse. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I started the day off by watching the Kings lose 8-7 in overtime to the Ottawa Senators. AC/DC, what up? So I thought I'd just do a little streamy check-in with the Earlomaniacs. See how your weekend was. And we'll do a nice, tight hour stream. I put up 15 minutes of stand-up comedy from last night at the Comedy Store. Please check it out. It's on the YouTube page that you are on right now. I was brought up by the great Ryan O'Neal. And although the crowd was light, the set was strong. Roderick strong. We can talk a little AEW Wrestle Dream. I myself was a little disappointed that Bobby Lashley did not debut. But that's okay. Dr. Chow, the Mega G, in the building. What up, Chowman? We can talk about anything and everything except you know what. We don't dabble in the Dabbleverse. We don't talk about if another podcaster is gay or not. Yes, we don't talk about someone's kids. We don't talk about pending court cases. We talk about life. Sponsored unofficially by Bang. You know, we take it nice and easy in here. And it's a happy stream. I don't snipe people. I just hit record and we go for an hour. I don't do no fucking 4 or 5 hour streams. I don't know how people do that. Respect to Melton and Win by Two. I mean, those guys do 4 to 5 hour streams. I don't know how they do it. After about an hour, I tap out. But that's why they have hundreds of people in their stream. Shuli also does like 3 to 5 hour streams. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. And I know that my topics, wrestling and hockey, are not going to bring in the masses, but that's okay. It's all good. So I appreciate the 9 of you in here. We're small, but dedicated group of Earlomaniacs. We can talk about the election. I think the election is now with 3 weeks. It's a dead heat. And Kamala Harris going on Fox News Wednesday night with Brett Baer. So that now she's only doing a half hour, but you know what? I'll give her this. She's going into the jungle. I don't know. I mean, you know, you could turn on Fox News. Trump is up. You can turn on MSNBC. It's Kamala's got a slight lead. You turn on CNN if you're really jonesing, and they say it's dead even. So it's probably the reality is it's probably dead even. I think some unbiased newspaper had it 48-48. So it's on. I mean, yeah, but you could probably find a few that say Harris is up 10%. I will say this, it does seem like I see a lot more uh, parties of support parties for Harris than I do Trump. Like, uh, cheers to wine lover, Chris Columbus. I'm not sure what that means, T Gun, but well, Peter Chicken Man Brennan. We got some all stars in the stream. Have you seen Tim Dillon's new show on Netflix? I hear it's good. I don't watch other comic stuff, to be honest with you. And it's not because I'm a hater. I just don't. I don't. I just don't watch other comic stuff. I mean, unless I'm going to be on it. I mean, I've watched Gutfeld because I think I have a pretty good chance of getting on it. Let's just say things have been put into motion there. Mud Sharks Unite. I do like that song. I don't like to talk about the Dabbleverse, but I do like that song for Kumia's Cucks. That's a now. Someone told me that's AI. Um, well, who knows? I mean, you can't. Uh, I mean, I just at least in California, I see a lot more not support parties, but like get out the vote parties for Kamala. I don't think I've seen one for Trump. It's time for the cucks. Kumia's Cucks. I mean, it's a catchy song. I played it for my friend the other night, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" Dr. Nova. Oh, well, interesting. Dr. Nova and the Chicken Man are in the stream around the same time. I'd say Tim's new show actually suits him a little better than actual stand-up. It seems like such a natural fit for him. Well, I remember that show. I can only tell you AC/DC what I see. Excuse me. I remember that show, Dick Dietrich, Nightstand. It was on 13. It was like a spoof of Jerry Springer. It was very funny. Junior Coltrane, at this point, is pretty obvious the Democrats are the bad guys in our society. Um I would have to go HBK. I'm a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. You think I'm cute and I'm sexy. I didn't like HBK. I mean, I would say my personal favorite. I like Kurt Angle's. It's very American. Gives me the chills every time I hear it. Um, I mean, real American Hulk Hogan. I mean, they're done by the great guitar player Rick Derringer. I mean, that's pretty good. Warrior didn't really have a theme song. It was just that instrumental, pumping bass, bum 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 bum. Well, I get my channel struck if I do the bass line towards the Warriors theme song. Um, Hit the like button, please. I heard the Hulk is all in for Trump. He is a great American. Well, I don't know about those tapes of him dropping N bombs. That's going to hurt him a little bit. Um, Thoughts on a Ray? Oh, I thought you were going to say someone else, Dr. Chow. I see what you did there. I never really liked the not the flyweights, but the luchadors. I'm a heavyweight guy, so I always gravitated toward Mike Awesome, Goldberg, Hogan, Wardlow, if you're familiar with who he is. To me, he's like a combination of Goldberg and Mike Awesome. Warrior, the body guys, Lex Luger, um, Kamala. I mean, Kamala wasn't a body guy, but yeah, you're probably right, Dr. Nova. I mean, Vince McMahon could probably finish ahead of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. No, not Warlock. Uh, Wardlow. Peter, you always make me laugh. Or is this a Peter Shore burner account? I mean, the time I had Peter Shore call me about something, I was like, this can't be a good call. Tom Zink, he had a great body. I mean, Paul Roma, Sid Vicious. how cold was it during your set that you posted? I'm telling you right now, and uh, this is something where um, I'd rather have you guys retweet or whatever, share in whatever capacity you guys um, share on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'd rather you share that set I posted from last night than a $2 super chat. But it was very cold. I mean, I put my hands in my pockets. It was so cold. And, O'Neill killed. I didn't want to show any of his set just because, it's against the rules to show another comic set. So I had to edit, like the last, I started recording 5 minutes into his set or 5 minutes before his set ended because I wasn't sure when he was going to end and I wanted to get him giving me an intro. So, but if you look at the video, it makes it seem like half the crowd got up and left. But in the original room, the thing is they pick a comic to leave on. And it has nothing to do with the comic on stage who just performed. Like I probably had my best original room set ever 2 weeks ago. It was a hot crowd. I mean, they were hot. And George Perez was killing. And I rarely say someone kills and whatnot. And he set me up with the greatest intro ever. It just because it was heartfelt. We're friends. He's trying to set me up for, to hit the stage running. And it was by far and away my best set ever in the original room. Like without question, my best set. And I rarely kill in comedy. I do well most nights. Sometimes I do very well. But probably killed maybe 10% of my sets. This is one of those sets. And so when I was bringing up a comic by the name of Dave Waite, I would say, as soon as I said, "Good night, everyone, my name's Earl Skakel," 60% of the crowd laughed. And I was killing. So, that's just that room. They had picked me. I was doing so well that I think that in the crowd's mind, it's like, well, it's not going to get any better than that. I'm tired. Let's go. And Dave Waite had a great set. So, it's just that is a room kind of unlike the main room where they just pick a comic. We're leaving at 12 o'clock. But last night was awesome. I believe there is, I think Justin Martindale's podcast is still done at the store. And maybe one or two others. Ever since we stopped doing the wrestling podcast there, I don't keep up with it. Tony Hinchcliffe is all in on Trump. Well, it checks out. Yes, O'Neill's the best. He gave me a great intro last night. But see, Junior, this is what an idiot you are. And I don't call people names in the stream usually, but you just said something that's factually inaccurate. Now, I don't know if you're trolling, if you're trying to get me upset or whatever. I don't get upset with someone I'll probably never meet. But I've never voted Democrat once in my life. So, I understand you like to talk shit, but Hinchcliffe is not rich. Russell Peters is rich. No one is in. Hinchcliffe's got money, but he ain't rich. But, it also depends, Dr. Chow, on what you consider rich is. Yeah, George Perez is awesome. And he's a great dude. What up, Queen On? In the house. Hey, Chicken Man, are you a big Dan Bilek fan? Interesting. We've got Dr. Nova. We got the Chicken Man in, and now a Dan Bilek reference. Interesting. Now, for those of you not knowing what's going on in the stream, there's a lot of deep inside Comedy Store baseball going on. By the way, I appreciate the 19 people in here, but come on, 8 likes. Come on, guys. Do you want me to talk about Steel Toe or something to get the likes up? Do I have to sell out? Well, see, that just shows you how little you know about comedy, Junior Coltrane. Russell Peters is literally the biggest comic in the world. Like, I love a good troll, bro, but like your trolls aren't very good. You might not have heard his name in years, but the guy sells out arenas, not comedy clubs, arenas. You think if Kamala goes on MLC, Neil will finally return his calls? I mean, listen, anything's possible. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I could ever be that. I would quit streaming if I was like, okay, I got to get on the steel toe stuff. I'll leave that to the pros. Um, do I wish I had more people in here? 100% I do. I wish there was a 0 at the end of that. 180 people and 140 likes. But I can't talk about that stuff. I just can't. I'm just not interested in it. I'm trying to convert you guys to stand-up comedy fans of the Daddy Man. So go on YouTube. Well, you're on YouTube right now. You're on this stream. Hello. You do have to tip for Dabbleverse talk. We can talk Dabbleverse all day long, but you got to tip for it. And I'm not trying to like grease you guys for money, but like, you know, you got. I am all about doing something that I like doing, and if I have to talk about something I don't like talking about, I got to get paid for it. Earl, Joe Matarese wants to know if you can get him stage time at the store. They won't call him back. Well, you know what, brother? That's a lot of people. I mean, you got to understand, like oh, wow, 19 likes. It's just the likes skyrocketed. Thank you. You can grease me. Hello. A James Stevens reference. Holy fuck, dude. This is, how about Alan Murray? If we're going to go real deep cut. See, I'm happy right now talking about Comedy Store inside baseball. It's tough to get stage time at the Comedy Store. I just had a friend of mine from New York, very, very funny female comedian, say, "Hey, can you get my friend some spots out here?" And it's like, it's tough, man. Like, it's really tough. Like, I can barely get myself spots at the Comedy Store. I mean, I don't think Joe Matarese has passed at the store though, so it'd be next to impossible to get him, unless it was like tonight. There's a show called, I think it's in the main room, called Horribly Unfunny or Horribly Funny. I'm not sure which, and it's an outside produced show so Joe could get on a show like that, but I can't get him on the show. Latest update on the special? Really, no update right now. I have a friend of mine trying to find out who owns the Studs Porno Theater. We've circled back to that theater, but I drove by it the last couple of days, and man, it's in a state of fucking collapse. So, I think if we were to do the special there, I'd have to put in money into like revamping the place, and fuck that. I mean, a special's not cheap. And I'm not asking for money. I'm not doing a GoFundMe or whatever, or Kickstarter. I'm paying for it out of my own pocket. But I'm hiring a camera crew with 4K cameras, a sound crew, and these guys are good at what they do. So you have to pay for what you get. So have you ever seen up and coming comic named Nate J? I have not, but he's probably never heard of me either. So have you ever performed in front of a park bench at a park for 5 people? I probably have. I mean, I don't. I've done so many shitty gigs in 25 years of comedy. I don't really remember doing a park gig, but I'm sure I have. He has not passed at the Comedy Store. Sam J has passed at the Comedy Store, but I can assure you Nate J has not passed at the Comedy Store. Earl, did you send confrontation to Gino Bisconte on his wedding? I didn't get an invite. I'm friends with Gino. I mean, we're not like good friends, to be honest with you. But, I'm happy for him. Hey, listen, as someone who was almost married myself and I couldn't quite get to the finish line, congratulations to him. You hang out with Oh, what the hell is that? You hang out with Showcase Mike Young at the store during his last visit. I did not, but I like Mike Young. Get some artsy babe with an iPhone, man. Gorilla special. I mean, listen, anything's on the table, but obviously, Like Mo Mandel just put out a special. He hired a camera crew, and it looks really good. So Paul Verzi just sent, the great Paul Verzi just put out a special. So your special visually is the first thing people see. So it's got to look good. I'm sure you could film a special on an iPhone or iPhones. Nothing's off the table. Uh, Joe Matarese got an investor to fund his special. I mean, ESPN update, that must be coming from my laptop. I mean, yeah, I would love to get an investor, to say, hey, here's $100,000, I think a good special in an interesting place, 30 to 50 grand, and then 50 grand to promote it. You put it on YouTube, you throw up ads, Instagram ads and whatnot. So, or you could go cheaper. Like I checked out the theater Sandler did his special at, and the lady really likes me. And, she gave me a price sheet, and it's where I did the XPW wrestling show. And, give or take, you don't have to get everything on the price sheet, but, I probably would. I mean, it's between 20 and 30 grand at this particular place, the Nocturne Theater in Glendale. I know Aviator Nation in Malibu, it's probably, excuse me. You're looking at least 20 grand to film it. And then you've got to advertise it, you got to promote it, not billboards or anything, but like on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, maybe, but probably TikTok, maybe, so I think 50 to 70 grand to advertise it, and then hopefully you get it back on YouTube. You do what was that one band? Was it not Linkin Park? Radiohead, I think they put out their new album on YouTube, and it was like, hey, pay what you want. Some people paid $1. Super fans gave them $1,000. And some people didn't pay at all. So, I'm not doing the special to make money. You're not gonna, you don't really even make money on Netflix specials. You get basically paid to put it out, and then, you make the money on touring. Mo's an awesome dude, and Paul Verzi is one of the good guys in this business. So please check out Paul Verzi's special on YouTube. Mo's special as well. Earl, who's the one person you would love to battle other than Jeff Lipschitz? I don't even want to battle Jeff anymore because he would just have my ex Olivia write 5 jokes for him. So I wouldn't even be battling him. I'd be battling her, really. And I've already beat her handily, I might add. Outside of that, I don't really have anyone. I'm a lot of people's fantasies battle because they know I'm going to come in with the fucking performance angle, and but I will never roast battle again just because I went 4-1 on television, and I didn't even get another season. And it's not just winning, it's who I beat. Tom Ballard, who killed Hinchcliffe in the untelevised season. K. Trevor Wilson, who's like a Canadian icon. I beat him in Canada. Jimmy Carr, Jesse Joyce, their top writer. They'll deny it, but he was their top writer at the time. And even losing to Tiana in a close battle with, there was some shenanigans going on in that thing. And what did it get me? So why would I battle, I don't know, anyone? It would be literally a waste of time. And I'm at 56. I'm done doing shit that doesn't benefit me. So doing another roast battle would not benefit me at all. Joe's special is not doing well. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How do you know that? Are the numbers not good? I don't know. Did Paulie really move to Austin? Last I heard, Paulie moved to Vegas, but I just, so I don't know. I could see him living all over the country. He could live in Vegas. He could live in Austin. He could live in Nashville. Obviously, Los Angeles. I just can't stand Paulie. Has never made me laugh once. I think he's really funny, and he's a very, very nice guy. Now, usually that's the kiss of death when you say, "Oh, he's really nice," but he's both funny and nice. How much of Ray do you see in Jesse Joyce's writing style? They were writing partners for a long time. I don't see any of it. I mean, Jesse Joyce is an amazing writer and a great comic. He's a much better writer than I am. I mean, if you I don't know why you would go, but if you go on Comedy Central and watch our battle, you'll see he literally came to the stage with like fucking 12 pages of jokes on me. I had 5 jokes memorized in my head. And, I think roast battle was just the wrong format for him because he's a wordsmith. Like he'll do these very intricate, one joke takes him probably 5 minutes to tell. And, with roast battle anyway, in my opinion, I'm sure others disagree, but the best jokes are almost not one-liners like Yo Mama jokes, but they're quick hitters. Like when I think the first joke he did was a really long joke about me not having a career and working with Rob Schneider, and it was like a 3-minute joke. And it was so long that Rogan, who was judging, just said, "Dude, that's it. You've had that's more than one joke." And my reply to a 2 or 3-minute joke was, "Wow, Jesse, that joke was longer than your first marriage." And it just killed. And like I said, I rarely kill, but that night I was locked in because I was pissed, and I love Jesse, but one that was kind of an illegal battle because if you've ever seen the movie Quiz Show, you know that it's the game show law. When there's a cash prize on the table, there's supposed to be no conflicts of interest. And Jesse was a literal employee of Comedy Central. So what do you think would have happened if that battle was close? They would have rigged it for him to win. And there's many other conflicts of interest that happened on that show. I mean, you had managers managing contestants and judges. I mean, Jeff is, even if I like Jeff, I would say he's an executive producer and he's a head judge. Like that's literally the biggest conflict of interest you could have on a cash prize show. And with so many of those people on my season writing jokes for Jeff, so if I'm in a battle with someone who writes jokes for Jeff, who do you think Jeff is going to root for? If the battle's even remotely close, I'm done. I'm cooked. So, those are my thoughts. Chad said today Rogan hasn't been to his own club in a while, and it's the same comics night after night with no turnover. I can't comment on that, ACDC. I don't know. I love Jesse Lee Peterson. I mean, I don't know about that stuff, Junior Coltrane. I'm not really dialed into the New York comedy scene, to be honest with you. I mean, Jesse Lee Peterson, if you get what he's doing, he's basically a black Alex Stein, a primetime Stein, pimp on a blimp, baby. Yeah, I don't know about Rogan's Club. I mean, I played it once. I mean, I got the feeling a lot of the same comics do play the club, but I was just there for one night, so I can't really speak intelligently. Well, I mean, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, longer joke on roast battle. Joyce around Renazizi. Well, funny story about Renazizi, and I don't think he would mind me telling this story. So, I had just beaten Tom Ballard, so I'm pretty high. No, actually, I take that back. This happened before because I think me and Tom were the last battle on night one. Stephen Azizi comes up to me and he tells me the joke that he stumbled on live television. And I'm sitting there listening to it. And it's like a Jesse Joyce joke. It was very long. It was a funny joke if you know the story between, I think Sam Morril and Beth Stelling were dating. Something happened between those two. So Steve, I believe, had a joke that maybe Danish and O'Neill helped him write. And it's a very funny joke, but it's very long, and it's kind of like the joke I told about Jimmy Carr's dad. It's a long joke, so the payoff's got to be big, and that's the joke he stumbled on. So he's telling me this joke 10 minutes before his battle, and he's like, "Do you think it's too long?" And I'm like, "Bro, this ain't the time to be asking." It is too long, but just do it anyway because you're literally going to be on TV in 10 minutes. So JLP is smooth as fuck. Love that guy. I mean, he was nice to me. I mean, someone sent me a documentary on him being a predator with some of the parishioners of his church or whatever he has, and they sent me that 2 days before. No, 2 days after I performed on his show. So, not knowing any of that stuff, I had a good time. I would come back. I mean, Junior Coltrane, see Earl, if they can rig a roast battle, they can rig an election. 100%. Like, roast battle was a rigged show on my season. And there's many, I know you guys are probably sick of me, bemoaning my bad experience on roast battle, but like you guys brought it up. It's not like I started this stream because I wanted to talk about fucking roast battle. But there were so many conflicts of interest on that show that I probably could have sued the network. I could have sued Jeff and his manager. A cash price show. There's supposed to be no fucking shenanigans. It's okay. Earl and Junior Coltrane are battling. Whoever is funnier gets the win. And even with Hinchcliffe's battle with Mark Norman, I'll take myself out of the equation. So back in that era, I don't know what it's like now because I'm banned from the room of a show I helped start. There was one rule: whoever goes first, if the battle goes into overtime, goes second. So that way, both contestants can get the rebuttal. So in that battle with Hinchcliffe, Mark Norman goes first. It's a very close battle, very fun, and both of them very funny people. And then it goes to overtime. And right before overtime started, and even Tony knew he was supposed to go first because he was getting ready. Jeff, all of a sudden, one of the few times in his life outside of a buffet line, shows energy and goes, "Hey, Mark, I think you should go first." Because Tony writes jokes for Jeff, and he wanted Tony to be set up for the win. It was literally illegal what he did. So there you go. I can't tell you why Steve would lie about 9/11. I will say, though, sometimes on a podcast, you kind of get caught up in the moment and you just say shit just to say it. I mean, I don't think I've ever lied on a podcast, but, I've probably over-exaggerated the story to make it funny or whatnot. Cheese Parmesan, loves having pinatas at his birthday party. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Ross Incognito, the daddy. What up? This is a nice, friendly stream in here. No, I was high from performing so well. Like, I don't think I'll never forget that time I walked out for my battle against Tom Ballard and the stage opened. And Comedy Central did do a good job reforming or remaking that empty nightclub into like a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome set. And I remember I almost lost my first battle against Tom because I got out there and like I'm kind of nervous. I mean, I'm very nervous. And I see a guy to my left, stage right, wearing a Skakel Army shirt. And I'm like, fuck. And then I was supposed to do a joke. Anyway. It is a mystery to me how Tony, a guy with I don't think Tony has a lisp, to be honest with you. I mean, I've done him for 15 years. Danish and O'Neill brought him a pinata and filled it with garbage and dirty underwear. I'm not sure about that. You guys are starting to Junior Coltrane. He made it by nut hugging Rogan, but I got to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with nut hugging the most famous comic and podcaster in the world. I would nut hug as well if he would return my text. Wasn't the Sam Morella best-selling dispute about some serious allegations. R word. I don't know the story. I didn't know it then, and I certainly don't know it now because it's been out of my head for 10 years. But you are correct, Chicken Man. And I remember that was kind of the punchline, involved the R word, and just Steve got, roast battle. It's nerve-wracking, man, because it's, anyone, like the Tom Brady roast, you have weeks and months to prepare for writing jokes about Tom Brady, and he's not going to really rebut you back for an hour or two. So you can really just tee off on Tom Brady, but roast battle, if you guys, let's say Junior Coltrane or the Chicken Man are battling me, you say something mean about, I don't know, my parents dying 2 months apart. It's a very funny topic, or can be. Of course, it's not funny to me, but I get to say something mean about you about 4 seconds later. So it's combat. Lois is feeling better. I've been using these drops. The cough will never go away, to be honest with you. It's here for life. It's kind of a collapsed trachea situation. I've not talked to Tony in quite some time, so I'll look into that next time we talk. Better hockey player, Ray Bork. Ray Bork. There's very few hockey players better than Ray Bork. Yeah, I was watching the Steeler game at a sports bar, and wow, I wasn't really paying attention, but he not only broke his tibia, I think he broke his fibia too. That's crazy. I've never broken my leg, but I have torn my ACL and side meniscus. That's no fucking joke. But that guy is so fucking strong, Hutchinson, that obviously you never want to break a bone or whatnot. But I guarantee you, I could see him playing in the playoffs. His legs are probably so fucked. When I had my ACL surgery, I was playing hockey 3 weeks later, and I had full bore ACL surgery. This was not like a light. This was the same ACL surgery that any pro athlete would get. I'm 56, so I am insane, Dr. Chow. And I scored a goal in that game. I came back. Actually, the game I tore my ACL and I scored a goal. I kept playing like an idiot because at the time my knee was just super stiff. So how it happened was someone dumped the ball in the corner. I was coming around the net. Well, we'll do this way. I was coming around the net from this side. Their defenseman came. He pinched, what they call in hockey, and our knees hit. And let me tell you, my knee literally went fucking the wrong way. Like it went in, and I heard a pop. It felt like a rubber band popping in my knee. And I knew that wasn't good, but at the time it just felt like an incredible amount of stiffness. So I could still hop around. And then I got home that night. It was very stiff, but I thought, it's just, I'll wake up tomorrow, nothing, it'll be all right. And when I woke up the next day, I couldn't walk. I literally had to crawl my way to my car. Excuse me. I had no idea where to go, so I think I just looked up knee doctor in the yellow page or the white pages and found Dr. Joseph Nicolella, who at the time was the LA Raiders knee doctor. And luckily for me, his office was in Beverly Hills. So I drive to Beverly Hills. I put money in the meter, and I could not walk across the street. I was literally crawling. I think it was Roxbury Drive. And a cop pulls up in the middle of the road. And I remember saying, hey, man, I think my leg, I can't walk. I'm going to see the doctor right there. And he picked me up and carried me into the office. So that's why I love cops. I don't know Tony's sexuality, to be honest with you. But Staggy, I would guess Well, I've seen that injury before. But with an ankle. I was playing back in the day. We used to play ball hockey at Elm Street Elementary. I think the Menendez brothers went there, and Saturday mornings. So we would have to climb over this. Now I definitely couldn't do it, but it's probably like a 20-foot fence. So we had to climb over with our hockey gear and the nets, and um, there was a fenced-in area with 6 north-south basketball courts, or basketball poles. So 3 full-length basketball courts going north-south. So we played east-west, and it was full contact. I remember one time Luc Robitaille's agent and Sidney Crosby's agent, his name's Patrick Brisson. He played like one shift with us. He's like, bro, I've played in the craziest leagues in Canada. You guys are nuts. I mean, it was full contact hockey, ball hockey, street hockey. And one guy, it's still the strangest thing I've ever seen. He tried to make a hockey stop with his sneakers, and his ankles were, and the bone was sticking out. And luckily, one of us, the great Dr. Chester Griffith, he was there, and he took care of the guy. God knows what would have happened if there was no doctor. And then we had to get some guy with bolt cutters to cut a hole through the fence so we could take him to the hospital. But I would guess Hutchinson's legs are in such great shape that he will recover. Now, if it's just an ordinary guy who doesn't work out, yeah, that's definitely a career ender. Best selling place for the U.S. national hockey team. I had no idea. I don't know if you're kidding or whatnot. The Steelers did. Steelers play at home every game. Like, I've never seen. When I went to see them in San Diego, when Michael Vick was the quarterback, I mean, it was a Steeler home game. I would say 80% of the crowd was Pittsburgh fans. The tailgating, you felt like you were in Pittsburgh. I'm not really a big fan of Gallagher. Earl, who's your favorite comedian who inspires your comedy? Well, Junior, I know you're a long-time listener. Excuse me. I didn't really grow up watching stand-up. I grew up watching TV shows. So like Archie Bunker is someone that inspired me, to say these awful things, but still you liked them. The White Shadow television show, the Dean Martin roast. I mean, I guess I would say the first comic I ever really watched was Don Rickles. Kevin Brennan told me I was insane for saying Dice and Nick DiPaolo were my favorite stand-up comics. I mean, listen, I don't tell people who their favorite comics should be. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Would you try and convince Neil to have Kevin on his roast? Rumors are that Netflix is looking at him for next roast. I would love to be on that roast. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm a hockey guy, so if it ain't the Steelers, I don't really keep up with what they're saying. I mean, there was a horrible injury. He might be so fucking top heavy that, he might not have. I mean, it's not like anyone's comparing Hutchinson body wise to Tom Platz. Look up Tom Platz if you don't get the reference. Yes, Freddy Krueger did live on Elm Street, but it was a great grade school. Like, I'm telling you, that ball hockey on Saturday mornings, it was probably the most grueling physical activity. I mean, just guys ramming each other from behind, no referees. I mean, it was blood sport. Hinchcliffe pulled a young chud move, stalking incident with an Asian female comedian with an awful laugh, allegedly. I've never heard of that one, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, but I know, you're kind of like the Matt Drudge of the Comedy Store. I know you got your finger in the air. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Whatever happened to Mitch Fattel? He's still, there's a lot of comics like Mitch where you haven't really seen them on TV a lot. You don't really, you think, oh, they're over, but, they tour constantly. I mean, he's just a road guy. He probably makes a couple $100,000 a year doing the road. But in comedy, if you don't see someone on TV a lot, there has been. So, oh, I did not know that. Me, hey Merle, well, it's actually Earl, but what's your favorite pastry? I like I mean, I don't know, like croissant, I guess. Is that a pastry? My old lady is a wild, angry bush. Did you ever meet Louis Anderson? I've been in Louis Anderson's house. I was a staff writer for the Ian Bagg talk show, and my first meeting with them, we're in this really nice house above Sunset, like Sunset and Doheny, if you know that area. And we're in the living room. We're all going over our ideas. It was decided I was going to be the monologue writer for Ian because I have a similar sense of humor. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see Louis Anderson in his underwear going into the kitchen, and it was his house. So he signals for me to, go talk to him, and nice enough guy, he's a legend. And then so we're talking, and he walks into his bedroom, and I mean, I was not worried about me and Louis. I mean, I was definitely too old. And all of a sudden, he gets this really weird look on his face, like, Earl, nice to meet you, but I got to take a shit right now. And he walked into the bathroom, and I'll never forget the sound. You would have thought a Kiss concert was going on in that toilet. Well, luckily for me, I'm like a butch, like I mean, I'm a good looking guy or whatever, but like I'm butch. Like I'm a man. Like I could be a Marlboro man. And a lot of these guys who like, they like young twinks, and I will never be confused with a young twink. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get to 30 likes, please. And check out my 15-minute clip I posted last night. I've been fucking around with the algorithm when to post a video, and I've been told it takes a video a few hours to get into the system of YouTube. So I've been posting videos at like 4 a.m. my time. So by the time I get up, the algorithm hopefully has Louis' loose butthole. Yeah, oh, he definitely destroyed that toilet. I mean, so there you go. But yeah, it was a good weekend of football. Steelers, the Raiders, a lot of rumors that Davante Adams will be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think the Steelers have pretty much given up on Brandon Ayuk. Now, I remember last year I was in Vegas to watch the Steelers play, and let me tell you something right now. They could not fucking guard Adams. I mean, it was clear that they were like, hey, we've got to cover Davante Adams. So to see Davante Adams and George Pickens on the same team, that would be fucking bonkers. But I also feel that George Pickens would not really dig that. You think the Axis of Evil tour will ever with the MetaMed? I mean, listen, he's working it. Who was that Axis of Evil tour? Was it a MetaMed, Aaron Cater, and Maz Jabroni? Adams is a locker room cancer. All Raiders star wide receivers become divas and quit on the team. I mean, I don't know enough about him. I'm just, that one game, like the Steelers were clearly like, hey, we got to stop this guy. And he was unstoppable. I mean, I've never seen a guy be that. I mean, they were double teaming him, triple zone. Like nothing was stopping this guy. Earl, I'm not really a G.G. Allen fan, so I've never gone on a G.G. Allen YouTube fest, AC/DC. What about the Latin Kings of Comedy? I don't know about that. Oh, Tripoli, yeah. It might have been Tripoli, Cater, Maz, and Ahmed. I can't keep up. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was trying to make it like a baby cub when the Axis of Evil tour was full bore. But and I'm pretty much a Comedy Store guy, which a lot of people are like, why don't you play the Improv and Laugh Factory? I'm treated amazing at the Comedy Store. I mean, I just am, and I'm paid very well there. So I'm good. I mean, just like, when you're treated nicely, you don't want to really leave the flock. I mean, who knows? I don't know what Mitzi considered Tripoli, but Sam was definitely one of her favorites. Ari Shafir and Azizi. I mean, the mid-2000s was a horrible time at the store because the crowds were dead, but some fantastic comics there. Has Ahmed threatened Emily yet? Not yet. I mean, he's still working on Adam. Hello. Emily is the best. I mean, you got to think that job sucks. Any booker. You've got the great Emily at the store. You've got the great Adam Egget at the mothership. You've got the stupendous Patrick Milligan at the stand. And every day they wake up to hundreds of emails from comics, known comics, unknown comics. Um, and you've got to say no to a lot of funny comics. I mean, last night in the original room, the show that I was on, there's probably, I guess, 12 comics. Probably 100 comics should have been on that show. And, 88 had to be told no. So, it's not an easy job. I mean, yes, you have a lot of power, and I'm sure some bookers treat it like a godlike complex, but it's a fucking shitty job, man, in a lot of ways. The Latin Kings of Comedy was Paul Rodriguez, great in DC Cab, George Lopez, Joey Medina, Alex Ramundo, hosted by Cheech Marin. I like Willie Barcena. He's one of my favorite Hispanic comics. Sounds like the comic store could run as a morgue on the side with the great air conditioning. I'm telling you, bro, I wasn't kidding. And, that's the thing. I mean, that set last night was tough enough. I'm going on, second to last. And Sunday night crowds are a little weird because it's usually tourists and it's the last day of their vacation. They're tired from whatever they've done all week or weekend or both. So, like, you lose them, you're not going to get them back usually. So it's a real tightrope. And, but last night was a very fun set. I don't know necessarily if it translated to tape, but I couldn't have done any better than I did last night. So I thought I'd throw it up. And Earl, what would you call your kings of tour, and who would you take on it with you? I mean, Staggy, is it better to be funny or different? Probably different, because there's a lot of funny, straight, white people. But if you're not that funny and you're a 400-pound Mexican, people are like, oh, this guy or girl is different. Let me watch. Kings of White People tour. I would do it as a total, almost a parody of all the Kings of Latin tour, the Kings of the Black Comic tour. And I would probably take, if it was up to me, I said, Earl, you could take any 3 or 4 comics you want. I would take Jason Galern. I would take Brian Holtzman. Don Barris, just people that I like performing with. Mitzi did love Joey Diaz. I mean, I've never heard of Nate J, so I can't. What's wrong with the Blacks tour? I probably would. That would be funny if Jesse Lee Peterson did that, and it was like 3 black comics and then me. You could have a Godfrey, Chappelle Lacey, and me. What the? That would be a great tour. Ingram, Holtzman, Kerrigan, Earl tour. I mean, you get a little bit of everything. You get the crowd work of Ingram, you get the wackiness of Holtzman, the wackiness of Kerrigan, and me. The all what up white people tour. Jets Bills game on Rogers has some juice left, but I don't even know what channel that is. Is that on ESPN? I was just talking last night with someone. There's just too many fucking options for the NFL. You got to go back to Sunday night games and one Monday night game, and I bet you the ratings would explode. No one's tuning into Paramount Plus or Amazon to watch a fucking NFL game. And the YouTube package sucks. I mean, what happened to the DirecTV NFL package where I could see every Steeler game? It was like $200, very reasonable. And now I think on YouTube it's like $400 fucking dollars. All right, let me turn on the football game. I think the volume is at a respectable level. Yes, I saw Chad Zumock performed with the great Brian Holtzman at Side Splitters. Yeah, but I know a lot of people have given up on watching the NFL. Like I had to go to a sports bar called the Blue Birdie to watch the Steeler game because I couldn't order the NFL package on DirecTV. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not paying $400 to watch the Steeler games. Now, if YouTube were smart, you could have um, a a package where for $150 to $200, maybe 175, split the difference, you can watch your team's game. So you don't get any games other than say the Steeler games for me. I'd be all over that shit. Hey, let's get to 40 likes before we end the stream. I'm not watching Thursday Night Football on Amazon. Fuck that. And I'm not. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Monday Night Raw when it goes to Netflix. That will be interesting to see what the ratings are like. That. By the way, I thought the AW, the pay-per-view Wrestle Dream was pretty good. Not great. I'd give it a B plus. I do think Bobby Lashley should have debuted because then people would have tuned into Dynamite to see, hey, what happened. Now Bobby Lashley may debut on Dynamite, but like if he would have come out in the Swerve Strickland segment and beat the shit out of him, then you want to see what Swerve's going to do on Dynamite. Like wrestling ain't that hard to write, brother. Do clubs make sure Zumock doesn't get near the credit cards? We don't talk about Dabbleverse issues in here, Staggy Waggy. Now are they screwing with playoff games? I mean, I just want to watch football. Like, Monday night, one game, not two games. A Kings of Metal tour. Earl Skakel, Jim Florentine, Jim Brewer, and Brian Posehn. I'd do that tour. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, you think Leslie Jones will bump you on the Blacks tour? Probably. I would tour with her. I had to follow her. It ain't that hard. TV is so dead. All it had was football, but now you can see it everywhere. Bye-bye, TV. I'm old school. I'm 56. I mean, I remember Monday Night Football was such a big deal to me as a kid because okay, Channel 7, 5 o'clock, bam. And Sunday football, NBC, Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Jimmy the Greek, Irv Cross. And now it's just way too many, in my opinion, way too many options to watch it. It's like that's why I love the NHL. I got the NHL package. I paid whatever it is, $200. I can watch every King game. Now I get every King game on Fox Sports, but the few games that they don't televise, I can watch it. I can watch the Rangers, Red Wings right now. Excuse me. What do you think about the new Rat song? I mean, it's an old new Rat song. It was supposed to be on Out of the Cellar. I liked it. I mean, I don't think it was a hit or anything. So they probably aired on the right side, leaving it off the album. But you never know. I mean, I would say back then, Rat probably had on a 10-song CD. They probably had 12 to 13 fully or near fully recorded songs. It's like Kiss. With on the album Crazy Nights, they left off the song Sword and Stone. So, and that probably should have been on the album. So you never know, but I liked it. I mean, I don't think it was a hit. It was good to hear Robin Crosby and DeMartini. I mean, I don't think that they replaced the guitar parts. I mean, I think that was the original song. Oh, wow. We have a longtime friend of the show. The Comics of Hackamania should tour. I'm good on that one. Thank you, Junior. See, Junior, we can agree on stuff. I don't know about an arena tour. I mean, they will charge for the Super Bowl. That's next. They probably will. I mean, listen, the NFL is a billions of dollar business. I don't begrudge anyone for trying to make money. I'm not paying $400 to watch the NFL on YouTube. I'm just not. I will pay $200 to watch every Steeler game. I'd be more than happy to do that. But like I just don't have a lot of interest in the Jets-Bills game. So I'm, Aaron Rodgers was kind of a dick to me once at Roast Battle. So I was told to go after him. I thought he'd be in on the joke, but I was sandbagged like I was usually on that show. We got the great Adeline Dimond. Go buy yourself something pretty. $15. Let me hear you holla. Thank you, Adeline. I don't know who you are, but just your name tells me you're a hot girl with giant tits. No, the singer from Rat is alive and well. Earl, best 580s glam metal albums. I will say, these are just my favorites. They're not the best selling records. Out of the Cellar. Glam metal. I like Judas Priest Turbo. That was when they sold out. You got to throw a Kiss album in there. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. That album was huge. Def Leppard, Hysteria. And let me see here. Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. That's a fucking bop. That album. Are you sick, Earl? No. Oh no, I'm just coughing for some. I'm good. No sick. Just a dry throat. I've been talking a lot the last few days. But I appreciate you asking. I love Rat. Their catalog, I think, is much better than Motley Crue. Oh, thank you for the 45 likes. I appreciate that. 18 people in there, 45 likes. Peter, you always make me laugh. I probably did catch a cold in the OR last night. It was fucking freezing in there, man. Earl, 5 best store lot workers. I'll go Doc Willis. He's top of the charts. Renee Lancaster. I can't name 5 to be. Those are about the only 2 people I would trust with my car. Now some rate Keanu's bazookas. I don't know enough about them. I've never really seen them. When you only say top 5, some albums are going to be left off. Metal Health was a groundbreaking album. People don't realize it. Quiet Riot was the first metal band to debut at number 1. Now, granted, their only 2 hits were covers of Slade songs, but hey, fuck it. And they got fucked on that first record deal. They probably sold out and said, hey, we'll give you all the publishing. We just want to put a record out. There's some great albums. Ultimate Sin's a great album. Bark at the Moon's a great album. And there's some off the board. So, I like Shark Island's Law and Order. That was a little late to the party. Wild Side, Under the Influence. It was a good album. But I'm talking like my favorite. Listen, I could name more than one Rat album. Invasion of Your Privacy is a great record. I don't think many people would say Rat. Detonator is a great album because that's when they sold out and hired a Desmond Child to basically write them an album of probably Bon Jovi throwaway songs. But I love Heads I Win, Tails I Lose, Giving Yourself Away. I like the poppier stuff. Kiss Asylum. I'm not saying it's the greatest glam album of all time. Crazy Nights I like. It's probably my favorite Kiss album. Lick It Up. It's not necessarily, boy, that Kelly. Starting deep. Oh! Um, let me see what else. I mean, there's so many great albums from that era. Cinderella's first two, Night Songs and Long Cold Winter, are pretty flawless glam albums because they had a little bit of a blues base. I mean, of course, I don't know if it's considered glam, but Aerosmith's Permanent Vacation and Pump, very good records. Slaughter's first record, Winger. I don't know if I would say it was a great record, but she's only 17. Yeah, I mean, Twisted Sister's first album. See no evil, don't you hear no evil, you're gonna burn in hell. And I like The Price. That's a great, I don't know if it would be considered a ballad. Thank you, Adeline, for your super chat. Thank you very much. Earl, can you go deep on Earl can go well, I mean, 80s metal I can. It's I'm trying to think what else. I mean, Creatures of the Night is a great album by Kiss. I don't know if I would say it's a glam record. Alice Cooper, if you really want some good, Constrictor and Trash, good records. I mean, there's probably 50 that I listen to in regular rotation. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, Bad Medicine or New Jersey. That's a very popular glam album. I mean, David Lee Roth. Eat 'Em and Smile's a great record. Going Crazy. I'm trying to think. I mean, Van Halen or Van Hagar. You know, uh, that first Van Hagar album is pretty good. So there's a lot of records, man. But those would be my top five. Did Roddy ever used to talk about Vince Russo? I don't remember him. We didn't really talk a lot about Vince Russo. Yeah, I mean Dawkins. I was never really into Dawkins that much. Outside their three hits and some great soundtracks that, probably one of my favorite individual songs, glam. It's definitely glam. Is what was it? The main song from the Shocker soundtrack. Paul Stanley and Desmond Child trading off on vocals. Tommy Lee on drums, Michael Anthony on bass. I think Rudy Sarzo and Vivian Campbell were also involved in that. We will have the power. We will have the glory. We will write our own story. We will have the power. That's a great song. Trying to think. I mean, there's so many now. I mean, just songs and albums are coming to me. Some great soundtracks. So the Shocker soundtrack is. Let's get. Let me see before we leave each other. Let me see the Shocker soundtrack. Let's see. Let's see. We got Sword and Stone by Bonfire, Dangerous Toys, Iggy Pop, Soraya, Voodoo X, The Dudes of Wrath, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Shocker. It's just called Shocker. So I'm trying to think. And the Point Break soundtrack was very good. And now that was 91, but you had Shark Island on that album. You had Rat, of course. Earl, did you give a summary of your night at the Whiskey A Go Go? I did not. It'd be a very boring way to end the stream. I was working merch for the 80s band The Zeros. So it was a very good show. And I just sat there and sold T-shirts for my friend Danny Dangerous. I don't know who Tom Brandy is, to be honest with you. Welcome, Salvatore. Nobody rides for free. And my dreams keep on haunting me. Get back, that ain't who I wanna be. If I could only see the look in your eyes, it wouldn't be such a big surprise. I'm sick and tired. I think I'm getting a message from Stephen Piercy right now. How crazy would that be? He just Instagram something. Yes. He commented on the picture I just posted. Of me and my mom. Carrot top. LOL. Rat and roll, baby. Hold on. I feel I must reply back to him right away. Hold on. I'm getting another text. I mean, this is complete wildness. So, one time I hugged Tom before a match, and he had hot stuff on, and my face got all red. I don't know who you're talking about. Tom Brandy. Junior Coltrane's laughing. Yeah. OU 812, I thought. Wasn't it? OU 812 ACDC. And then, it's not necessarily a glam album, but the Wildlife soundtrack, as you know. I mean, that was basically Eddie Van Halen and a lot of instrumental work, along with, I think, Charlotte Caffey from the Go-Go's. I did like Jane Wielden's first solo album. That had a couple good songs on it, but that's not glam metal. And then if you want to go really over the top, I tell you a band I like, and not a lot of people do. They're kind of made fun of for being like Diet Cinderella. But Brittany Fox, Long Way to Love, that's a great song, man. And the ballad that kind of maybe ruined them, Save the Week. And then, of course, Girls' School. I mean, their videos were played a lot. And then I think Dizzy Dean Davidson, the singer, left the band, and they never quite fully recovered. Not that they, the 90s were coming, so they were probably gonna like call it a day anyway. You should hear Tom shoot on Rob Feinstein's. Oh, but I don't know what he does. Salvatore is what I'm saying. I'm assuming he's a wrestler. No, I mean I got some gray hairs, but I got most of my head, most of my hair. I have all of my head. But how much money do you owe Tough for Forever Yours? They did it for free. Stevie let me use the song Forever Yours. That's in the glory days of the Inappropriate Earl podcast. Now, when I do a podcast episode, I don't even put music to it. I'll be forever yours. Stick it out, baby. I like Tough. I never was really into them back then, but, since I got to know Stevie, I Hate Kissing You Goodbye. That's a good song. Faster Pussycat. I like that one song. I'm on a late train. I'm on a nonstop ticket to nowhere. Where it takes me, I don't know. I guess the tracks you lay are your own. I'm on the freight train. Nonstop to nowhere, I guess that would be. I like both those albums, AC/DC. So, I mean, I could really go down a rabbit hole of glam records. I'm trying to think of some of that mid 80s stuff. I mean, Black and Blue had some good songs. I don't know if I ever liked one album of theirs, but I liked Miss Mystery. I liked Hold On to 18 and I'll Be There for You. I'll be there for you when you need someone to get lost down that lonely road. I've been on your side. You got the keyboard intro by Jonathan Cain and Journey. Girls' School was I liked Brittany Fox. I mean, Michael Kelly was the original and really a founding member of the band Cinderella. And this shows you the music business. They basically told Tom Kiefer, "Hey, we'll sign your band, but you got to get rid of the guitar player. He's too ugly." Um, are you talking about the Aussie ones with Randy Rhoads? Yeah, I mean those weren't really glam metal, but I mean, so many great. I like the one "Speak of the Devil" live album with Brad Gillis. Him and his pinch harmonics and a whammy bar. I mean, he didn't sound a lot like Randy Rhoads, but I thought he killed it. I mean, he literally had a week to learn all of Randy Rhoads' songs and Black Sabbath. I mean, that to me is one of the most impressive things ever done with a high pressure gig when you think about it. Hey, you're going to be mimicking Tony Iommi and Randy Rhoads, who's the new guitar god. And I'm trying to think of other bands I used to listen to. I mean, obviously, I was Kiss, right? I mean, Motley Crue's first record's good. I mean, obviously, Dr. Feelgood, Skid Row. I guess that would be considered a glam album. Their first record. With the big hits. I Remember You, 18 in Life, Youth Gone Wild. I mean, that album's a bop. And then that's about it. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing, Living Color, the Glamour Boys. I love that song. But Living Color was such a good band. They were all like virtuosos. I mean, you know, so they were almost too good to be considered a glam album. I mean, Whitesnake, that one big album, 1987. I mean, that, Tawny Katane. I mean, pretty iconic. Overall thoughts. We'll end on my overall thoughts on Wrestle Dream. I mean, I thought it was good. I thought the first couple matches were very good. I do think Bobby Lashley should have debuted in the Swerve segment. Now, I've been told they didn't want to do two hometown beatdowns, because Swerve is from Tacoma area, has his Bryan Danielson. But, this is what I've been talking about with AEW. You've got to find a way to get WWE fans to watch the product. Now, if Bobby Lashley debuted at Wrestle Dream, I guarantee you the Dynamite rating would be better, because WWE fans are like, we want to see what Bobby Lashley does in AEW. Seemed like they were kind of setting up a Swerve Shelton Benjamin match, which I wouldn't be against. I mean, Shelton Benjamin's good, but he ain't Bobby Lashley. So it'll be interesting to see when Lashley comes in. I mean, I thought MJF, Adam Cole coming back was good. I don't know where they're going with the Wheeler Yuta heel turn. I saw Trickster with Kiss and San Bernardino. I mean, I like that one song, Give It To Me Good. Ever heard Bubblegum? I don't know what that means. I mean, I think Firehouse, they were good-looking guys, so it helped if you were good-looking. Yeah, I mean, Scorpions, White Lion, I mean, Vito Bratta, I mean, top shelf guitar player for sure. But, there were just so many, I mean, I wouldn't say Queensryche was glam, but, and then, Guns N' Roses was kind of glam when they started. When they were playing Madame Wong's in 86, I mean, they looked like Poison. And I'd like to say Poison's first record's a fucking good album. Glam, anyway. And the album that Fallen Angel was on. Y&T was almost too good. Dave Meniketti, I think he was up to replace some big guitar player. Randy Rhoads. I think he was one of the... I think it was Jakey Lee, George Lynch, and Meniketti. And I mean, I like Summertime Girls and Don't Stop Running, or Keep On Running. But I will say that favorite Diddy song, the Police song, that he has to pay Sting $2,000 a day on. I mean, they've had longer. Trust me on that one. I mean, I'm an AEW mark, and that was not long by AEW standards. I do like the Neil Sean Jan Hammer album. And When I See You Smile, what's the name of that band? When I see you smile, I can face the world. Oh, I can do anything. Earth sucks. I like when the two male wrestlers lay on top of each other. Oh, Jesus, you're coming in hot with the homoerotic stuff. By the way, I do love, speaking of gay wrestlers, I love the new tag team in AEW, MXM Collection. They're kind of doing a rip off of Billy and Chuck, and they brought in Billy and Chuck's manager, Rico. I definitely marked out for that. Yeah, I mean, Rogers got sacked hard. Bad English. Thank you, son of Billy Wagner. Rogers looks a little zoinked right now. Should have been nicer to me at Roast Battle in Montreal, bitch. And no Okada. I mean, you got to have Okada on a main. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the Brody. Brody and Darby Allin have good chemistry. Warrant, is another album it's in consideration for. I mean, Nelson's first album was, with the great Bobby Rock on drums, and really the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion album I love. Now, the video for Boys Are Gonna Rock, it's weird because you hear Robert Fleischman's vocals, but it's Mark Slaughter lip syncing. Yeah, I mean, I believe he was a transit cop in Vegas or New York, and so he looked pretty good. I mean, that's, really probably the last time I watched WWE. It was when Rico and 3 Minute Warning were there. Thank me later. Thank you for what? I don't know what I should be thanking you for. Did you send me a super chat and I didn't see it? Let's thank the super chatters, the tippers before I leave. Adeline Dimond, $15. Thank you very much. Like I said, I don't know who you are, but I have a feeling you're a girl with giant bazoombas. Wait, they brought Chuck back? I didn't see that. Hey, Earl, other than our hearts, have you ever stolen anything? No. No, I haven't. I was raised to be a mass transit at ECW. That's a fucking brutal. When New Jack almost killed that fat kid. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know who you are, Adeline, but I have a feeling something about your name screams gigantic jugs. So welcome. We can always use a big-breasted woman in the stream. I would say that the stream demographics tonight are about 99% dudes. I liked George the Animal Steel, much like Kamala, before they turned him cartoonish. I mean, and then he was just a fucking buffoon. But overall, I will say before we end the stream that AEW Wrestle Dream, I liked it. I give it a B+. Link Gates, the hockey player, the missing link, or the wrestler. Overall, I would say it was a B+. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the Danielson, if he's really retired now. I mean, Moxley. I like Moxley. I like Marina Shafir. She's a good heel. I'd like to see Camille. I wish she would wrestle more. And there's a lot of guys coming back now. I mean, you've got to figure Adam Cole's back now. MJF is probably coming back now that he's done with Happy Gilmore. who Kenny Omega's wrestling in New Japan, I think, coming up, so he'll be back. I don't know where Powerhouse Hobbs is. I don't know where Wardlow is. I mean, they got a fucking big roster, and they're bringing in Bobby Lashley. So we'll go 5 more minutes, guys, and then the stream will be done for this evening. But I do like some of the new tag teams. I like the Outrunners. They're funny, a throwback to the 80s. I love the MXM collection. Those guys, the big guy, was it Mansoor and Adams? But the big guy, I'm assuming his name is Adams. You can tell he's going to be good. Like, I don't think he has very much wrestling experience, but you can tell he's going to be good. So I don't know when the next AEW wrestling pay-per-view is, but no, you definitely couldn't do a R-word wrestler like Eugene. And apparently what makes Eugene even crazier is that he was based off of a real person. So it was very intentional what they were doing. Jericho put someone over last night. I thought that was good. I'd like to see Big Bill on his own. Like, he's got, you've got some fantastic big men in AEW that are really underutilized. I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs hung in there with Will Ospreay. I did like the Ospreay Takeshita Ricochet match. I would have liked to see Okada on the main card. I like Jay White and Hangman. They had good chemistry. Not a lot of bad matches, maybe a little long, but, I think overall it was a good card. I mean, AEW's strong point is their pay-per-views. They do very good pay-per-views. I don't think anyone saw Rico debuting, or maybe it was just a one-off, but that was kind of cool. I thought the only segment that I thought felt a little flat was the Swerve segment, because I think everyone thought Bobby Lashley's coming out, and then you're kind of, you're left with Shelton Benjamin, and which I love Shelton Benjamin. So I ate a king size whatchamacallit today. Earth sucks. I have zero clue as to what you're talking about. We got 3 minutes. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe. Check out my new stand-up video I posted today. See if the 20 people in the stream right now share my YouTube video, the stand-up video. That's how a video goes viral, baby dolls. So, I love you, Earl. Good night, Earth Sucks. Thank you. You guys have been good to me. It's a nice, friendly stream. Do about an hour and a half tonight. We talked a lot about, and we'll get more into the election stuff the closer we get to it. I'm trying to really do all forms of content for YouTube. The long form video last night was 15 minutes. I think I did a short the night before, a stream today. I'm really trying to post something on YouTube every day. And we're going to alternate when I release the video. Last night, I released a stand-up video about 4 a.m. my time, because I figured 7 a.m. people in the East Coast are going to see it. And then, the West Coast people will see it, later on when it's in the algorithm, hopefully. Thank you, William Zoom. We got a minute and a half left. The end stream arrow is ready. Trump is on a roll up in the vital states. It's tough, man. It'll be interesting to see how Kamala, what happens on Fox News. I think that'll be interesting. We'll just see. It's going to be a very tight race. 3 weeks, it's going to be amped up. And thank you to William Zoom, my main moderator tonight, Kip Smith and Gina Babina. Not in the house, but I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll be at the Comedy Store a few times this week. And I don't believe there's a lot of local yokels in the stream, but if you're ever in Los Angeles, or if I'm in your town, who knows? I may have a New York trip coming. Of course, I'll have to watch out for snipers when I'm there. But Hopefully, you will see me on Gutfeld sooner than later. I need a new TV credit. I need to get back in the mix. But I'm confident with the help of the great Rob Schneider that he will make it happen. And yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, though. I mean, I think I would have preferred her to be interviewed by Hannity because I do think Bayer has a reputation of being like the least Fox News-esh on the network. I mean, that's the one thing I'll leave you guys with this. It's the one thing I like about Trump is that he does go into enemy territory. He had a debate on CNN. He had a debate with those two idiots on Channel 7. So, yes, Dr. Nova, you be safe. Well, I mean, the one sniper in New York is motivated to take me out. I'll let you guys guess who it is. Earl Skakel, over and out.